Hello, good afternoon. This is our lecture for managing and caring for the self, learning to be a better learner in understanding the self. The outline, here's the outline. First, we have an introduction. Second, Edward Thorndike's primary law of learning, Carol Dweck's psychology of success, and strategies that needs to develop. We also explore on the kanabitang Filipino myths, no, mga kanabitang mga preconceived ng mga notions, kanabitang mga totoo mga myths on education, on learning, no, ng mga Filipino ato mga myths on learning. First, why do we need to study about learning? In my first subject this afternoon, I asked them, ano magtuon magta about sa pagtuon? Ano ka? Why? Why do we need to study about learning? Second, why it is connected with caring for the self? Lalo po nung connected man ang learning o ang caring towards the self. Why? Why not? What can we do about it? Kung sa kunoy atong mabuhat on learning, mag-change yung baday na nato, ma-influence yung baday na nato. No? And next, can we change or influence it? Kay ang uban, kaya samot na sa mga Filipino lagi ng mga myths, mga totoo about learning, about studying, no? About school. Can we change or influence it? Let's explore together, no? And mas nindot ang kung face-to-face like I can ask you directly, no? In our discussion, in our interaction, I can ask you directly sa inyong opinions, sa inyong mga comments, sa inyong mga hunahunap, no? Inyong mga opinions. And lastly, can we challenge the myths or the beliefs that is imposed to us? Kana bang mayon sila? Diyan na sigtuon kay kanang bulok ka or di ka kamao, no? You are not enough, no? Kana mga yun anak ba? Isang pag-unsaon ni mong tuon, maura ang imong grade, no? Can we challenge that? Can we kanang call that into kanang question na, oops, wait a minute. That is offensive. That is kanang sana, di ba sa giingon pa sa GMA 7 sa Itbulaga, bawal judgmental. So here's our kanang our flow. Yung ani ang atong mga questions. Hopefully, as you kanang go into your reading, you also reflect, you also think, you also analyze. Kamukha. Next, what is learning? What is learning? According to Queen's University, learning is defined as involving, understanding, relating ideas, and making connections between prior and new knowledge, independent and critical thinking, and ability to transfer knowledge to new and different contexts. Pagkaninduta sa isang giingon, no? Ang isang giingon dere, ang isang line, kining line kanahat pa, critical thinking and ability to transfer knowledge to new and different contexts. For example, kung learning nimo sa kanang sa science kitahay, sa physics, sa gravity, imo sidyang ma-transpose, imo sidyang ma-transfer into different contexts. For example, kung man nimo ang usa ka butang, ang usa ka context, ang usa ka circumstance, kung ang ijang factors na nagpalibot ana ng mga butang, di na jud work out, no? For instance, in our kanang emotional relationships or our romantic relationships, if we are honest and humble enough to accept na things will not work out, bisan kung saan pa, no? We are liberated from that toxic or maybe dysfunctional na relationship, no? Sa pagingon dire, learning is not something done to students, but rather something students themselves do. Hindutan eh. Learning is not something done to students, but rather something students themselves do. Na, dili ko ng education, only the authority, only the teacher is giving or kanang imposing knowledge to the students or to the audience, no? But rather on the other way, the students themselves, no? Nindot po, in a dialogical na paagi. Ang teacher also can learn from the students, but also, of course, he can also kanang impart or teach, share his knowledge, her knowledge to the students. But at the same time, nindot kaadyo ang mga students themselves makahatag og learning po, something new, fresh learning to the teachers, no? Or to anybody else, to the group, to the class, no? Naigingon ang usa ka professor from UP Diliman. Ingon siya nga, learning will be very kana interesting po, no? If ma-change na ang dynamics, no? It will no longer be the teacher who will impart, who will spark new knowledge ko, no? Kundi ang students mismo. Mo learn na gani may mga teachers na sa authority ngadto sa students. My God, that is the education. Mao na na. Ano sa meaning sa education? Atong i-search ang word na educere. Mao man na yung murag origin, I think, sa education. Educere. Meaning. Ito yung meaning sa educere. Ang meaning sa educere, matugpadere, is to bring out or develop something latent or potential. For example, midwife. Gusto may trabaho sa midwife. Kailan mag-midwife? Midwife, no? A person, typically a woman, trained to assist women in childbirth. Matod pa sa mga philosophers, ingon sila, ang education ko, no? Ang educare ko, mura ko no, o mga midwife, no? They will push sa kailangang word. They will mamugos din sila sa mga learners, sa mga students, sa mga youth. Ano ay learning mo na amoy knowledge mo pag mga nakaitod sige push hangtod makagawas din ang bata. So yung anak po ang role sa mga educators, ingana po ang role sa education na lagi sa to ang sa piliin sa educare meaning to lead out, no, to kana bang mold something, mo train ta, mo mold ta, mo na yung meaning sa educare. Sa pag-iingon dito sa slide. It is to direct of how students interpret and respond to their experiences. Experiential kasi siya nga education and learning. Kay aron, for example, sa MIT, how din balik-balikon ka kay ganahan ko sa MIT ang eskwelahan nito sa US, sa Massachusetts Institute of Technology. Pag kanindot ka dyan ng eskwelahan, if they talk about or study about buildings, constructions, dili sila theoretical, dili mga daghang words, mga methodology, but they go to the field. They experience it firsthand. Sila mismo na ay teachers with mga expert, mga professor nila, and then knowledge, learning will come out as they practice, as they do their studies in the field mismo. For example, sila yung mga plano maghimo o maghimo o building. Diretso. So may dyan mga unahon na butang na dyan, put into practice na dyan. Ingon na. So igingon ni Edward Thorndike, law of readiness ko na. This refers to the degree of eagerness and preparedness to learn. There are times that an individual has a hard time to learn because they are not yet ready or they do not have a reason to learn. They are not yet ready or they do not have reason to learn. It's very natural, no? Maybe even Albert Einstein, no? Pila isang edad una siya nakatigoy basa. But imagine, look at what he did, no? When a person has a reason why they should learn, they tend to learn better than trying to learn something new with no reason at all. So, na reason. Usahay ang reason, mo'y maghatag sa push, no? Mo'y maghatag og factor to push something unthinkable, undoable, impossible, no? To something possible siya, nga doable siya. Kay kung naalagay tayo reason behind it, kung naabatay mo na reason to live mo, bro, bag ka na sa mga romantic pa, uyab-uyab, no? Wa naman ko yung reason nga mabuhi kay nagbuwag naman may, no? If we transpose that kanang context, lain to the context into learning, kung ang atong learning puro ta kanang dili ta inspired, uninterested, no? We will not learn. Of course, murag disinterested ka na atong focus dili mao. Of course, no? Next, law of exercise. When one concept is repeated or encountered always, it is easily remembered and learned. When a concept or new skill is practiced from time to time, it is easily learned. No? Mura ba o kanang sa martial arts, no? Sa physical na exercise. Kung imong balik-balikon, isang sa gym, no? Kung may mga certain na kanang mga kini may buhata, mga muscles and certain muscles and mga specific muscles nga ma-exercise kanahan ka magako diri sa mga parts, no? Same thing also with learning, same thing also with studying, no? When a concept or new skill is practiced from time to time, it is easily learned. Next, on the other hand, when a new skill is no longer encountered or repeated, it is less likely to be remembered or learned. Mura pa sa midterm or sa mga any major exams, no? Ini kung man ganit na tuog ka ng tuon na, wala. Mura bag, basta ka naka-answer na ko, finish, no? Wala. Next, law of effect. This refers to the concept that the emotional state of the person affects learning. Do you agree with me or sa mga challenging perception? This refers to the concept of the emotional state of the person affects learning. Tinood ni, of course. Kay, for example, may nahitabo sa bahay ng emergency, makafocus ba ang atong una-una mentally, sa emotionally, sa atong discussion? Of course not. No, of course not. Learning is strengthened when it is accompanied by a pleasant or satisfying feeling. Mura ba ka nang gingon nila nga, lahi-lahi kag aura karon, or lagi kag inspired lagi karon, no? Same thing also with education, with learning, no? Na ang mas strengthened siya when it is accompanied by a pleasant or satisfying feeling. Mo bitaw yun sila. For example, sa imong classroom or sa imong kiling certain subject or course, nagani imong crush diha or nagani kay something na like lang diha. Aron ka conjug ka, aron ka sana inspired with ka to attend every classes even though terror sa teacher. Di ba? Next, on the other hand, learning is weakened when it is accompanied with negative feeling. So, hindi mo bitaw sila. Sa ka-tribe ko nun. Kahoy yung tinalipan. So sa ka-tribe, mga indigenous tribe, nakatubo ba? Somewhere, kalimot na ko kasi naging sa ka-anthropologist tingali. Yung sila. Sa ila ko ng tribe, dili sila, huwag na ako na kay ganahan i-cause of physical harm, ganahan ka, muputol o kahoy, sila ko no, dili ko nila putlon nga, ilang atsahon o ilang sundangon sa ilang buhaton, dili ko no, panunghong maadyo ang kahoy, no? Tol, kung baka, gamay, yan na ba? Ilang curse, no? I-curse ang kahoy. Until such time, maybe after 1 week or so, mamatay, mahinay-hinay kamatay ang kahoy. Imagine, no? Imagine, when we transpose that, when we transfer that to dealing with kanang persons, with tao, no? Nagalit kay tao nga sigihan ko, imo singgit-singgitan, singgaakan, no? Imagine, samot na sa learning. No? If learning is accompanied with negative feeling, we can samot na into a relationship, no? Or into a family, into a household, na agani kanang sana, kanang na kasinggitan, say gamit, sige lang magkagikulakaw, no? We are affected emotionally. And onto the other nga, sana mga field or mga factor sa atong kinabuhi, ma-affected ang atong studies, relationship. Maybe kung nag-away ang family, maybe ang relationship sa atong girlfriend or boyfriend, apektuhan, no? Next, kining kang Carol Dweck's psychology of success. O sa giingon ni Carol Dweck, no? This theory refers to the different types of mindset a person has. Mindset refers to whether you believe qualities such as intelligence and talent are fixed or changeable traits. There are two types kuno mindset matod pa ni Carol Dweck. Fixed mindset. Ano man yung fixed mindset? Assumes that our character, intelligence, and creative ability are static, no? Givens which we can't change in any meaningful way. No? Striving for success and avoiding failure at all costs become a way of maintaining a sense of being smart or skilled. Matod pa niya, wala ka nang fix na kuno na ang imong ka-bright, ang imong mga creative kuno nga ability, na ano kuno na static na kuno na fix na nga bisan pa kuno kuning kamot ka at all cost, no, to change it. Na nagajud kay matod pa diri sa fixed mindset. Fix na siya, no? Bisag kung saan pa nimo, naka-fix na siya. Sunod, ang growth mindset thrives on challenge and sees failure not as evidence of intelligence, but a heartening springboard for growth and for stretching our existing abilities. Kini, positive pod siya kay growth, no? Nag-aim siya og growth na ang failure ko, no? It says failure not as evidence of an intelligence but as a springboard. Mura ba og kanang bitang springboard kita mas mga Sonic moves, mga TVs. Na springboard bitang mga bakanan. Mura kuno ang failures kuno, mura kuno gingon anak. Ang springboard kuno for growth, no, for stretching our existing abilities, no. For example, when you encounter an athlete 5 years old or 10-year-old, mag-expect ka nga successful kadto sila 100% kadto sila. No. Kaya naa sila limited sa ilang abilities, maybe because of their kanang insufficient pang abilities kay kuwang practice, dili pa sakto sa ilang experience, age, no? What else? Sa pag-ingon ni Dr. Carol Dweck, why waste time kuno proving over and over how great you are when you could be getting better? Why hide deficiencies instead of overcoming them? Why look for friends or partners who will just shore up your self-esteem instead of one who will also challenge you to grow? I'll leave you with that quote, no? You can reflect on that. It is very self-explanatory, man. Maybe you can reflect on that on your vacant time. Maybe you can copy that sa inyong mga notebooks. Concepts in understanding learning. No? Metacognition is commonly defined as thinking about thinking. No? Liban ka? Thinking ko na about thinking. Imong tunan ang pagtuon. No? Murag ingon ana ba? Mura ba o ka ng ang algorithm? Kisay nakailaw ang algorithm. Ang algorithm unta, kana bitaw sa AI, kana bang mo-check, mo-collect man na sila mga data. For example, Facebook. Ang Facebook gani, ang algorithm gani sa Facebook, makabantay nga ganahan ka og mga poems. Ganahan ka ng mga violente, kanang mga gubot ng mga scenes or mga videos or mga posts or kanang mga music or mga salida. Mo na i-feed nimo. Kay aron you will have kanang longer time para magsigig scroll. If we are not thinking about thinking, kita hinuoy mahigop sa algorithm. Nadi ta kabantay, giduwa anday ang atong cognitive, ang atong cognition, ang atong pangunahuna. If we are not kana sharp enough to find out. No? This is considered as an awareness or analysis of one's own learning or thinking process. Diba sometimes, I don't know with you, no? Pero sometimes, ang experience, after experience nako or after incident nako maka una-una. For example, ay nag-away ja na ako'y way laming nagisulti. After na kumukuno na, instead of before saying that kanang unpleasant word, I could do that. Pero in metacognition, if you are that aware enough, if you are that conscious enough, you can prevent that from happening. Kay sa wa pa tani mo gisulti, nakahuna-huna nakaala, dili na gisulti kay lain. So, nakakay thinking, nakay thought process. So, before you act it out, before you say it loud, imo sa una-unaon, be, kung sa may effects, kung sa may mga possible reactions, maadyo ba ni? Hindi ba rin maadyo? No? What else? However, it is also not limited to just the thinking process of the individual. No? It also includes keeping one's emotions and motivations while learning in check. The emotional state and the motivation of a person then should also be a preferred ideal state for that person in order to further facilitate their learning. Kung kahibaw ka sa imong kanang capacity, or kung kaila kasi yung kagalingon, for example, nakakagibasang lesson, nakakagibasang novel or article, or libro, for instance. Kung dyan nakabantay, bitaw ka nga, sige na lang makagbasa, pero wala na process. Wala na mo ginunahuna, wala na mo i-process sa mga na pag-interpret, sa mga na pag-contextualize ito sa lesson. Kung wala na yung ana, we should stop reading. And if we know ourselves enough, kay bawta nga, kini kung gilaay na ko, kung kawasa ko, mangita ko space nga napad, abli, mahangin, no? Para makarelax ang utok to relax the mind. If we know ourselves enough, no? If we study ourselves seriously, makailata, makahibaw ta nga, oops, dili na healthy ang ahong learning, habit, dili na healthy ang ahong learning, tikiti karon, dili na healthy ang ahong pagtuon karon. Igo na lamang po na lip service, no? Wa na kanag una-una sa imong gitunan. Metacognition basically has two aspects, no? The self-appraisal, your personal reflection on your knowledge and capabilities. Kung sa maning self-reflection, nindot ni na kay personal reflection sa imong knowledge, kung imong capabilities. For example, kamo pohon, trabaho man jud pohon. When you go to a interview kita confident ka in the interview, and the panel, the interviewee, the one who will interview you will ask nga sana, kamao ka ani dong, doy, kamao ba ka ani Mr. De La Cruz, Miss De La Cruz, kamao ba ka ani the processes of so and so. Ikaw pud kay without thinking, without assessing your personal kanang capabilities and knowledge, ingon na po ka nga yes. In the scale of kanang 1 to 10, no? 10 is the highest. So may imong capacity moingon pagka ka. If there is number 15, sir, 15 na ho. Di na-amaze ang na-amaze ang nag-interview. So okay, let's see. Patay kay di pa isama ka, di pa sample mo ka sa imong gingon nga kamao ka. And then you realize na oops, ang ahong capability, ang ahong knowledge dili man di ay enough, dili man di ay fit into what they are looking for. But if you are honest enough, humble enough to admit, sir, dili ko familiar, or if you're familiar, dili ko kaadjong expert 100%. But I'm willing to learn. Maybe positive pa ang mahimong outcome, no? That's one example, but you can pick yours, no? Self-management, the mental process you employ using what you have in planning and adapting to successfully learn or accomplish a certain task. Kini, self-management, arang ka-importante ni, kay when you join the workforce po, kamo kay sa electronics, mga doon yung course, naturally, ngadto gud mo sa mga field nga naabitaw ka ng mga sana accomplishments. Naraba kasi mga offices po kung trabaho mo, daily ang pangadjugod nga accomplishments, no? If you have not developed or strengthened your capacity or your expertise for self-management, lisod kaadyo ang pag-process, ang pag-manage sa imong kaugalingon. Kay, for example, when you go to a workplace, wala may magsigitan na mo all the time, 24/7 na, oops, you're not working on your assignment. Unja, inig-abot sa working place puhunin jo. For example, you have the target 1, mo ning trabahoon. Inig-abot og 4:30 kinahanglan ni. 2, 1 week. Number 3, kinahanglan na in that time, no? Kung dili ta kanang sana kanang ready enough for self-management, lisod. Mental process magud siya, no? Kanang nga sana paggamit o planning, adapting to kanang certain environment, no? Nga mahimong successful ang imong task kung unsay gipangadto sa company nimo or unsay imong mga personal targets, no? For example, ang company or certain organization kay nangadto og 1 week for you to finish that specific project, pero ang imong personal na standard kay in 2 days time or in 3 days time mahuman na ninaho. Why not? No, why not? Next, the elements of metacognition, no? Metacognition as defined by the University of Queensland, what you know about how you think. Laliman ka, no? What you know kuno about how you think. Unsa man nato kung Bisaya? Unsa kuno imong nahibaw about sa imong gihuna. Conscious mo usahay sa inyong ginahuna? Maybe not all the time, no? Not all the time. Unsa man ni paghitabo? There is this practice in meditation we call centering ba? Grounding. Di ba? Ito lang mga grounding. Ang naiusa ka practice nga to nga you sit properly, very relaxed na pagkalingkod, no? And then you focus your mind, your consciousness, your mindfulness towards what you're doing. For example, kung na-ay cricket, na-ay certain sound, mga bamboo, mga dahon, or na-ay ka ng gong, i-focus nimo ang imong una-una, tanan nimo, i-focus nimo sa pagpaminaw sa gong. Pero, ang requirement, if ka nang ma-derail ang imong una-una, you go back ra. Murabag, you are just aware, mahinglupaw na po ang imong imagination. Mahinglupaw na po ang imong mind. Na? You just go back to what you are doing. Naminaw sa gong. It's an exercise. Bisan pa twice a day or bisan pa once a week. Bisan 5 minutes na. It's a very good exercise, no? Dili pa nagpasabot kay suppress, you force your cognition, mahimong focus, mahimong kanang sana dito na lang magad mo ilibot timo adlaw, no? But it's an exercise to kanang pag-anad ba sa kaugalingon sa imong mind nga mubalik ko kung sa imong gi-focusan on that specific time. Metacognition regulation, no? How you adjust your process to help you learn better. Importante ni kay if we go to the workforce, jawa na bitaw tayo. Samot na sa mga workforce na kana bitaw massive ang hiring. Daghan bitaw mo, for example, sa inyong workplace kay sa ka-department, tag-libo mo, no? Unja ang working relationship ana mura nagdudugog ka ng di kaila personally. Kay tungod sa kadaghan sa employee, wa agad kay na kay direct supervisor, pero maybe ang ila pagkaila kuan pagajud relationship pagajud sa employee o employer relationship. How can you adjust mo kung naanad ka sa imong mental processes nga naay mo di mo adong puro bagnaanad kasi kung nanay o tatay nga dong bakod na dong alas 6 na dong, no? How will you adapt? How will you adjust sa process nga ikaw na laman, no? Ikaw na laman ang naadiha, no? Dire arang ka relax pa ka dyan ang atong example kay we are just using learning. Pero how about we join na the working force, no? Trabaho na kapuhon. As early as now, mas maadyo exercise na, strengthen na. Skills that help in exercising metacognition, no? Mga skills ka mo. One, first, knowing your limits, no? Having an honest and accurate evaluation of what you know and what you do not know. So, maraging ganina. Interview. Interview pa ganito. Kung sa ka, work na ka dyan, no? Hindi naman, honest man, ako pag-interview na ako sa SLSU, na sila gingon, sir, what if, kanang iyan na ipabuhat ang school, sa outside na sa ibang contract, what is your response? Ingon po ko honestly nga, kung kaya na ha, sa akong capacity, sa akong knowledge, why not? Pero, I will, based on ito, I'm willing to help. Pero based na sa akong knowledge, sa akong capacity. Ang yan na. Second, modifying your approach. So it begins with recognizing that your strategy is not appropriate with the task and that you do not comprehend the learning experience successfully. Puro ba, naabitaw kay self-modifying nga tool. Puro ba automatic sila? For example, na event, for instance, na ay task na gihatag ang company nimo, unsa, nakabantay ka nga, di pa dahil sa effective, di pa dahil sa time effective nga, in a short span of time, dali mo na nakuan ang task, no, sa project, no. When you have that self-modifying capacity nga approach sa imong kaugalingon, dali ra ka maka-change, dali ra ka maka-strategize kung saan po imong sunod ng steps, no. Third, skimming is basically browsing over a material and keeping an eye on keywords, phrases, or sentences. It is also about knowing where to search for such keywords. Mura ba, focus ka sa imong gibuhat, but at the same time, you pay attention to instructions, to manuals. Mura ba ka na mag-open dito ka new gadget. Kung mabasa sa manual, di alam, patakar ang pindot, mapiyukin na, maguba na, or na-defect, ano. Maging ang skimming. Fourth, rehearsing. It is not just about repeatedly talking, writing, and or doing what you have learned, but also trying to make a personal interpretation and or summary of the learning experience. Murabag at the end of the day or at the end of every task, murabag you go back to yourself and then you reassess kung sa may mga effective na nabuhat ko, no? Kung sa may mga unnecessary nga akong ibuhat ron. Nga akong kaya pong ibuhat, no? Mga nakapalangan na sa trabaho, mga disturbances, yung wifi naka-on, no? Ngayon na. And it can help. It can help to point out your strength and weaknesses. Don't forget to nga imo i-criticize yung kagalingon. No. If you have done kanang mga successful, mga accomplishments ka, treat yourself, no? Treat yourself. Isang ikaw ang usama, ato ka sa kuan, ato ka Jollibee, or sa iyong ganahan na food, or musuroy ka, no? Treat yourself. Self-test is trying to test your comprehension of your learning experience or the skills you have acquired during learning. Self-explanatory. Strategies that need to develop. Asking questions about your methods, no? Asking to yourself, but also others. Pwede ka mga tanong, so ma'am, sa kayo mo, ika-comment na niya. Second, self-reflection. Kana bang you have that capacity, bisan pag ikaw ng usaw, you can reassess, reflect on yourself. Helpful ba niya? Kapang ba niya? Third, finding a mentor or support group if necessary. Kung sa may kasawat ni mentor or support group, ang mentor, dili na sige support ni mo ha, na love, siguro na naman, sige lagi, lindot din. Ang mentor is more on an honest best friend. Dapat ang mga tinulog na friends, di mo nga, musulti nga, di mo na mauday, kanang awadyon ka ba, di mo na maudong, di mo na maubay. Sa joke pa na mo. Una na ang mentor, no? Or if necessary, support group, no? Sa ka-group na mo support group. Next, thinking out loud. Ito mga implication ng thinking out loud. Speak your mind. Adyo kadlok, express yourself, no? Dili ka maduhang express. Why not if dili ko or why not if that is not practical enough for them? Basta you manage to express or share your ideas. Fifth, welcoming errors as learning experience. Sometimes good. Kining errors, nasadyok ka, successful, mga strategies na wag nagkadimaon. Sometimes, ang ilang tanaw sa ubang tao, kumana, what a chance to move, what a chance to learn, what a chance to, to step back, no? Wala. To stand up, wala. Pero, nga rin sa strategies that needs to develop, kung saan siya ka strategy nga we encounter errors, we encounter failure, we can accept it as a learning experience. Mura ba katong springboard ganina? Mga failures siya, pero na himo ko na to siya nga springboard for improvement, for another chance to not only prove ourselves, but to improve for our sake, not for others, but for our sake. Para ako ni. Next, using the mentioned strategies, we can identify 4 types of metacognitive learners. Passive learners are unaware of their metacognitive knowledge. They do not think about any particular strategies for learning and merely accept if they know something or not. Mura bag go with the flow. No? Okay ba? Tara. Mo din ni coverage. Magtuon. Kung di magtuon, wala. Marag yan na ba? Ito ka. Kasi, aware learners, no? Aware learners. So, aware learners know about some of the kinds of thinking that they do, such as generating ideas, finding evidence, etc., exploration, no? Experimentation. However, thinking is not necessarily deliberate or planned. Hopefully, resolve kay kini sila. Kini sila. Klase na ka? Kapit ako. Okay. However, thinking is not necessarily deliberate or planned. Sometimes, kung di siya magplano, puro ra mura ba o kung sa'y mabot, mura ba o kung sa'y naa, no? Kung sa'y available. Next, the strategic learners that organize their thinking by using problem solving, grouping and classifying evidence, seeking and decision making. They know and apply the strategies that they help learn. I gave this note to you ahead of time, maybe last week pa, ako nang gihapon yung mga notes. Hopefully, naka-read na ako ng mga notes kay ito mga notes until the last day of our final term, mga na to ang mga capabilities na. Okay. If you have questions, you can write it on our group chat and you can also write it on our notebooks. Thank you very much and have a nice week ahead. Thank you.